Greetings world. We are anonymous.
The Investigative Committee of the Russian Federation, ICR, states that failed 2016 U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and her Democratic Party have been implicated in the theft of tens of millions of rubles from a now-failed bank in Tatarstan, an oil-rich and predominantly Muslim region in central Russia, and that once Clinton lost her bid to become president, and in a last-gasp effort to hide these crimes, stole another $60 million from Irish investors too. Shortly after taking office as U.S. Secretary of State in 2009, Hillary Clinton began a massive scheme to illegally enrich herself and her Democratic Party using unscrupulous methods and tactics against unsuspecting and unsophisticated Russian banks, and whose largest deal actually benefited the Federation when in 2013 Rosatom, Russian state-owned energy giant, was able to acquire vast amounts of American uranium reserves, having to pay the Clintons just $3 million. One of the Russian banks frequently used by Hillary Clinton, her husband former President Bill Clinton, and her criminal associates, was Tatfond Bank and its smaller affiliated Index Bank PJSC, both located in Tatarstan. Due to the illegal machinations employed by Hillary Clinton and her criminal Western banking associates, by the 1st of June 2016, in the midst of the U.S. presidential race, Tatfond Bank and Index Bank PJSC contributed to Tatarstan, reporting that its banking assets had reached 1 trillion rubles. Being doubtful/dubious about this reporting from Tatarstan, the Central Bank of Russia, CBR, began an initial investigation into banks located in Tatarstan, but whom immediately came under extreme pressure to limit this investigation by the American super lobbyist Tony Podesta, brother of Hillary Clinton's national presidential campaign manager John Podesta, who promised/devoted that upon Hillary Clinton taking office once she won the presidency, all Western sanctions against Russian banks would be lifted. Immediately after losing the U.S. presidential election to now President Donald Trump, though, the CBR was alerted to a mysterious bond offering of $60 million being made to unwitting/unsuspecting Irish investors on behalf of Tatfond Bank, and that was being organized/manipulated by several shadowy Western banking companies including TFB Finance, TMF Group BV, SC Lowy and Merdeka Capital, with their common linkage being that they were all known/suspected abettors to the international money laundering organization known as the Clinton Foundation. Upon learning of this mysterious bond offering, the CBR contacted the ICR, who began their own investigation, and that initially revealed Tatfond Bank was missing 97 billion rubles, $1.6 billion it couldn't account for. By early March 2017, the ICR determined that 3 billion rubles, $51.9 million had been stolen from Tatfond Bank, and who placed under arrest for this grave crime Robert Musin, the chairman of the board in Tatfond Bank, Ramil Nazirov, the ex-first deputy chairman of the board in Tatfond Bank, and Elena Lushina, the director of Royal Time Group Limited Liability Company. Most important of these arrests to the ICR in their attempting to discover where these stolen monies were sent to, was Elena Lushina, who was the director of Royal Time Group, another shadowy company listing itself as being in the construction and casino business, and whose listed partners KPMG LLP, Accum and Steelman Partners were all discovered to have used stolen Tatfond Bank money to fund not only Hillary Clinton's failed U.S. presidency bid, but other Democrat Party candidates too. Of the stolen Tatfond Bank monies able to be traced due to Elena Lushina's interrogation/confession is, from Tatfond Bank to Royal Time Group to KPMG LLP, $129,689 given to Hillary Clinton, $100,000 given to host the Democratic Party convention, over $50,000 given to U.S. Democratic Party Senator Chuck Schumer, nearly $40,000 to the Democrat Party Service Corp., nearly $35,000 to the Democrat Party Congressional Campaign Committee, and over $33,000 to the Democrat Party Senatorial Campaign Committee. From Tat Font Bank to Royal Time Group to Acom. $350,000 to Democrat Party Super PAC's Priorities USA Action and Emily's List. $136,800 to the Democrat Party Service Corp. $63,558 to Hillary Clinton. $26,234 to the Maine Democrat Party State Committee. $25,525 to U.S. Democrat Party Senator Patty Murray. $21,800 to U.S. Democrat Party Senator Chuck Schumer. And $18,632 to the Democrat Party of Virginia. From Tat Font Bank to Royal Time Group to Steelman Partners. $28,000 to the Democrat Party. The trail of fraud from Tat Font Bank has, also, affected the Federation gravely too, with the CBR stating a few weeks ago that it was lending 66.7 billion rubles, $1.19 billion to help keep troubled Bank Peresvit, a lender run by the Russian Orthodox Church, afloat, and that is now being overseen by Rosatom. By both the CBR and ICR discovering how easily Hillary Clinton and her criminal Democratic Party accomplices were in manipulating Russian banks in their money laundering scheme, the Federation this month announced it was reversing itself and would now legalize cryptocurrencies in order to protect all banks in the future. As to why Hillary Clinton and her Democrat Party needed to swindle Russian banks in the first place in order to finance themselves, is due to what is being called a liquidity supernova erupting in the West that has seen their central banks, CB, buying $1 trillion of financial assets just in the first 4 months of 2017, which amounts to $3.6 trillion annualized and is the largest CB buying on record. So short of cash is the West, in fact, that since 2014, its central banks have had to spend $200 billion per quarter just to keep their markets from crashing, and that continues to this very day, as evidenced by the Swiss National Bank boosting its total equity holdings to an all-time high of $80.4 billion, up $17 billion from the $63.4 billion at the end of 2016, the biggest quarterly increase in its history, with America, too, suffering through what is being called the worst retail apocalypse in its entire history that is now seeing even its most valued tech workers living in their vehicles in the shadows of its Silicon Valley tech giants. This nation remains in denial about Hillary Clinton and her Democratic Party crimes, choosing, instead, to believe that Russia is their dire enemy when nothing could be further from the truth, and as to how these peoples have ever come to believe that Russia's paltry 143 million citizens would ever want to conquer the nearly 330 million peoples in the United States and their nearly 800 million European Union allies, bespeaks more about the destructive power of their leftist communist propaganda mainstream media than what reality actually is, or even could be.